Record button. Mr. Parra, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Robert. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, first of all, Robert, thank you for the introduction. And that is precisely why I chose mindset as the topic, because it is not only within our company, but within the industry. And as you may not already know, or some of you may not already know, we're on a coaching call with the Mike Ferry. Us as coaches are coached in the morning on Mondays. And this by far is one of the topics this week and last week that are being covered, because so much of what's happening in the marketplace today is coming from so many different avenues. We don't know which one to believe. And over the past few weeks, I've received several calls from agents and other places just going, what are we doing? How do we handle this? And what do we do? So in the end, it's all about that. So thank you again, Robert, for the introduction. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the opportunity to allow me to share what I'm going to share about mindset. And my goal for today's talk is to make a difference, is to say something or tell you something that I probably got from Neil Schwartz, or I probably got from Mike Ferry over my 20 years of working with both of them. They've been my mentors, they've been my trainers, and I truly appreciate them for that. So if you hear me reference Mike or Neil, that's precisely why. A lot of what I'm about to tell you, I didn't learn myself. One thing I did forget to tell you, Robert, was as soon as I made the commitment to mindset, my mindset went crazy. It went crazy. And it said, wait a minute, you haven't mastered mindset. Who are you to talk about mindset? Right? And I thought, then I thought again, but who really does master mindset? I had the pleasure of listening to Tabitha Adams, and she did a podcast the other day, and I'm going to talk more about that. But just hearing her talk about the fact that she still journals, the fact that she still works on her mindset on a daily basis, reminded me that I may never really master my mindset. It's always going to go one way or the other. But I do recognize, and I'm really ready to admit, that I will have to work on it every single day. So I didn't tell you that, Robert, but I wanted to share that with you before we get started. So it's just another example of what mindset can do. It can take you all different places. So also, what I want to make sure that we know is that there are so many options to work on your mindset every day. I mean, you can go to several websites and Mike Ferry TV and Neil Schwartz. There's so much stuff going around us that you can't blame the world for not providing you with the opportunity to correct, fix, or work on your mindset every single day. Am I right, Robert? Every single day. Right. So do me a favor. If you're somewhere where you can write down the following. Write down mindset, skills, activities, action, consistency, and discipline. I'll say them again. Mindset, skills, activities, action, and mindset. I'm sorry, action, consistency, and discipline. I bring these up because this is what Mike and Sabrina are asking us to focus on. It's not that we're not going to work on the others, but they're all within this range of mindset, skills, activities, action, consistency, and discipline. But Mike and Sabrina constantly remind us that there's a reason why mindset is first. Simply stated, it's because by far one of the most important aspects of what we do as coaches. People coming into the program come from all different walks of life. They are brand new agents. seasoned agents. They're in remote areas, they're in city areas. They come from everywhere. We have no idea where they come from when they come into our schedule. They come in with different personalities. They come in with different challenges. But by far, the biggest reason why we believe that they won't achieve the goals they've set is mindset. Mindset. In preparation for the talk, I found a new book. I use Audible a lot. It's called The Happiness Trap. Write that down. The Happiness Trap. One of the most profound things that I heard from this book the other day, the author said, happiness is not our normal state. It's not. We spend more time in no state, not sad, not mad, not happy, than we do in anything else. The reason he introduced that at the beginning of the book, because he said, be careful with what you expect. Think about it for a second. If you see a guy or gal walking around happy all the time, you start to wonder, what's wrong with that guy? What's wrong with that girl? Why is she always happy? So again, be careful what you expect of yourself. Because if you're expecting to always be happy, you're going to be very disappointed. And here we go, back into the negative mindset. So what is mindset? So Mike says that mindset, it's nothing more than what's going on in your head at any given moment. It's the little voice in your head that's chattering all day, every day. I'll say that again. It's the little voice in your head that's chattering every day, all day. Some good, some bad, some negative, some positive. The key here is it's going on every day. Right now, it's going on while I'm talking. The question, are you rejecting, resisting, accepting? What are you doing? I don't know. But it's going. As a matter of fact, this voice started when you woke up. And in most cases, it won't stop until you go to sleep. And let's be honest, it can keep you up, can't it? So before we go into the video that I want to share, I want to go into Mike Ferry's 6 points on strengthening the mindset. I'll go slow, so you do the best to give you the time you need to write. But if not, it's being recorded anyway, right, Robert? Awesome. So Mike says that number 1, don't waste time or energy on the things you can't control. Don't waste time or energy on things you cannot control. Robert, nobody on this call caused this market, did they?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Not that I'm aware of either. So if you didn't cause it, stop wasting time trying to fix it. Neil told me the other day, deal with it. Make the change necessary and move forward. This too will change. These markets never stay the same. So again, don't waste energy or time on things you can't control. Number 2, this is a tough one. Don't compare yourself to others. That will beat you up pretty bad. Really bad. Because Mike says we all have a story, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know, and you don't know what that person did or has done to get where they are. Stop judging, be genuinely happy for them, and move on. Don't compare yourself to others. Number 3, stop resisting change. Mike says the only constant in real estate is change. You go back to rule number 1 where it says you can't change it, move forward on it. Number 4, Stop worrying about what is fair and unfair. Tony Smith said, we will deal with more unfair in our lives than we will deal with fair in our lives. I thought that was important because so many things, we want everything to be fair. But the reality of it is, what we're paying for gas is not fair, right? What we're paying in interest rate is not fair, is it? These things aren't fair. But can I do anything about it? Not personally. So what do I got to do? I got to move on, deal with it, and move forward. Number 5, don't try to please everybody. Emotionally, Mike says, you will burn out. Number 6, strengthen your mindset daily by taking massive action to do something about it. Practice being the agent you would want calling you today. Practice being the agent you would want to hire. Practice being the agent you say you want to be. That there will help you with your mindset. So what I'd like to do next is I'd like to play a video. So please take some notes. If not, we can go back and watch it again. But I'd like to play this video for you. Yeah. Okay, I gotta press sound. Maybe it's over here. 1 second, please. My apologies. Can you guys hear anything?
No, we could see it, but we can't hear it.
Okay. Once.
If you want me to, I can play it as well.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
All right, you got it. Share sound. All right, here we go.
Yeah, we'll share sound.
There we go. Okay. And let's play it back at the beginning.
You really want me on the team. What's your approach to recruitment?
You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else. Like, I would watch Magic play. I'd watch Michael play. And I would see them do these unbelievable things. And I'd say, you know, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out.
That's why he's the best player in the game.
Everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
So because you know what you want, the world's giving you exactly the information you need to become better at it.
Because you know what you're looking for.
So many guys tell stories about your work ethic.
Yeah.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, I mean, every day. I mean, since 20 years. I mean, it was an everyday process and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Man, my vertical was a 40, it wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive, right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast, right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed. It's a good separation for me, you know, emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else. I switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time, right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You gotta put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. And then when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me, don't talk to me. Just leave me alone.
How did you get mentally and emotionally so strong where it doesn't bother you?
Well, you know, you got to look at the reality of the situation. You know, like for me, it's not, you know, you kind of got to get over yourself. Like, it's not about you, man. Like, oh, okay, you feel embarrassed. You're not that important. Like, get over yourself.
That's where you go.
Get over yourself, right? Like you're worried about how people may perceive you, and like you're walking around and it's embarrassing because you shot 5 air balls. Get over yourself, right? And then after that, it's okay, well, why did those air balls happen? Got it. High school, year before, we played 35 games, max, right? Week in between, spaced out, plenty of time to rest. In the NBA, it's back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I didn't have the legs. So you look at the shot, every shot was online, but every shot was short, right? I gotta get stronger. I gotta train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I gotta tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale and say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there. That was it.
Done.
Done.
Were there some names that you looked at and says, these 3 guys are as crazy as I am?
At the time, I deal with what I've referred to as Goat Mountain. I went to Goat Mountain and I talked to Magic, Michael, Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Jerry West, Oscar Robinson, Bill Russell, you know. So I would talk to them. What did you do? What were your experiences? Michael in particular, he's become my big brother. He's been my big brother since I first came in the league. And what was that process like? So I went to them and started understanding the ins and outs of the game and, you know, how they approach things and their level of detail and obsessiveness, and that's what I did. The players that had that passion but weren't willing to commit their entire lives to doing that, right? It's a choice, right? You have other things, you have family, you have all these other things that you have to do. The game can't really be your #1 priority. And so I was just looking at that like, man, this is gonna be fun.
If I'm buddies with you from high school, if I'm a cousin of yours, what happened to our relationship? How did that gravitate when you went into the league and you're determined to become the greatest, or you're determined to become one of the greatest? What happens to our relationship?
Oh, it suffers.
It does suffer.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you understood that. You were okay with that.
Well, yeah. And the people that love you, like friends and family, like they know that about you.
Got it.
So they let you be you. And when you reconvene, you know, you pick back up where you left off. Mm-hmm. But make no mistake about it, everything in between is lost, right? So those long-term relationships, the commitment of time of, taking like I see a lot of players take vacations with other players that are close friends. And they'll just take vacations just to take vacations, or just hang out just to hang out. Like I never did that.
Why not though? Why didn't you do that?
Well, because when I retire, I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. I don't want that. You know, I don't want that. You know, you got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to come watch you perform. Perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit. Like, it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore, we got to play Vince Carter and Toronto Raptors tonight. We actually had this happen. We had a game against Toronto in 2000, and Vince was tearing the league up. my back was jacked. But like the perception of that, like what? Kobe's missing the game against Toronto and Vince Carter because man, my back was really spasming. But people will be like, what? Oh, he's ducking Vince. Excuse me? No, I don't think so. So I would be in the layup line like, okay, there's a lot of days where you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them. Your back can bother you any other day. That ain't bothering me today. He gonna have to see me today. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a big investments you got to make, what is the decision-making process there? Do you call? Is there first you do your own research? You take this much time. You call an advisor. Is there a system you follow?
It's pretty simple for me. It's do you understand the business? Is it a business that you can help in some form or fashion? What are the barriers of entry to that business? And then the entrepreneurs themselves, the company itself. Right? Do they have a culture that you believe is sustainable? Are these leaders people that you believe in? Are they people that are obsessives? And in turn, have they created a culture of obsessiveness? So I tend to look at those 4 factors, and that's it.
That's big right there, by the way. I don't know if you guys caught that right there. That's pretty massive right there. Same determination. What's your current work schedule look like today?
It's different because I personally am not writing every word of the novels. I am not animating the films. What I have to do now is make sure that the people that we bring in, these obsessives that we bring in, are challenging themselves to do the best job that they think they can do. That's what I'm there for, is for them to constantly look in the mirror and self-assess and challenge themselves. If we have a project and you're saying, okay, I can do that, that's not the project we want. The projects that say, I don't know if I can animate that. I don't know how to write that story. I don't know how to do that. Those are the things we want, because through that curiosity, you'll reach a level that you didn't think was possible. And so running the studio, that's what I'm doing.
You're playing against the Golden State Warriors. Score is 107-109. You guys are close to getting into the playoffs. You know exactly what happens in the game. You go up, you're about to take your shot, and then all of a sudden, boom, Achilles happens, right? He went and hit the free throws, and then you walked off the stage.
Yeah.
And you got the surgery done.
I went in the trainer's room, my kids are in there, and they're looking at you and stuff, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, it's all right, Dad's gonna be all right. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. As a parent, you gotta set the example. You gotta set the example. This is another obstacle. This obstacle cannot define me. It's not gonna cripple me. It's not gonna be responsible for me stepping away for the game that I love. I'm gonna step away on my own terms. And that's when the decision was made that, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
You're a freaking beast, bro.
Yeah.
Can you all hear me again now?
Yes.
So I don't know about you, but as he's talking, I see so many connections to what we do. I think Robert said it when I told him about the video. He said there's connections there. You don't have to be an athlete to make those connections. You don't have to be in a competitive situation to make those connections, even though we are. But the mental switch, so many things can be related. I hope that you'll watch that again. If it isn't him that inspires you to feel, think, or do different, then find your own. That just happens to be mine. I enjoy watching him, and it continues to be a sad day that he left us on the terms that he did. But in closing, I want to leave you with a few thoughts. Number one, be careful what you say to yourself. Your words become reality. And what's worse is you might be the most influential person in your life. Number two, this is from Tabitha. Use the word fascinating. You're getting a counter, fascinating. They didn't accept your offer, fascinating. You didn't get this, fascinating. When she shared that the other day, I thought it was fascinating because it's hard to be upset when you say the word fascinating. It will change your approach to the challenge, I wrote down. Next, write down mindset is a habit. Practice good habits. Write down life is a mirror. You are what's in the reflection. I wrote down control the voice in your head. You're the person you're talking to the most. Remember, a positive, happy mindset is not our natural state. We must work hard every single day to keep it positive. Read books, journal, listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts, watch Mike Ferry TV. I'm not the guy who's going to do 100 books a year. I'm probably going to do X amount a year, but because I keep going back and listening to them again. So I'm not that guy who's going to do that. But there's so many resources, and Robert can agree, that you can go to today. It's out there for you, but you have to go find it. It's not calling you. So with that said, Robert, thank you again for allowing me to share today. And I'll say it again. I hope I made a difference for somebody today. So thank you again, Robert.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great. So
Thank you, Frank.
what I told Frank the other day when we were watching this video of Kobe Bryant, I said that the very opening line is going to be the new listing presentation script. Because the guy says, if you're trying to recruit me, what do you say? And he says, if you want to be on first place, play with me. If you want to be on second place, go play over there. Now that's going to be our new listing presentation script, right? You want to get the most money, you list with me. You want to get the less money, that's going to be our new listing presentation script.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, Frank, and I appreciate that. So one of the things, questions I wrote down here, though, if you don't mind, you reference a lot of, hey, there's a lot of resources out there, and you mentioned a couple people specifically, in this video, but what are your go-to books, for example? You say you don't read 100 books because you're going to read the same book a couple times. Like, what are your go-to books when it comes to mindset or videos or things like that?
Well, as most of you or some of you know, I'm a veteran. So I go to dang it. Hold on one second here. So I go David Goggins a lot. I don't run as much as I used to, but the fact that I was a runner plus my veteran background, when I hear David Goggins talk, the words, the passion, and his story, it inspires me big time. So David Goggins is probably one of the ones because he's just so straightforward. And like I said, the words he uses, because he talks military style, I go to him a lot. David Goggins.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other question I wrote down here is just from a real estate agent standpoint, someone's going through it, right? The NAR thing is screwing them up. The higher interest rates this year screwing them up. We talked about the mindset, skills, activities, actions, consistency, discipline. From a more specific standpoint, like what are one or two things that you think they could do to kind of just get themselves out of that mindset funk?
Well, the key there is to understand, number one, how this came about. Number one, how did this NAR thing come about? So it's understanding where it came from. And then number two, sit down with Robert, sit down with one of the coaches, call me, and let's talk about how we can respond, not react to these situations. How you can respond so that the consumer understands exactly what happened. They have no idea what the MLS allowed or didn't allow. In some cases, you remember, people sell or buy a house, maybe, I don't know, Robert, 1 to 3 times in their lifetime, right? So they have no idea what this means. They're just hearing that we're charging too much. So number one, understand how it came from. Number two, sit down with your coach, sit down with Robert, sit down with me, and let's talk about how you can respond and not react to that. And then we're going to practice that response so that if it comes, you're ready. Like Neil taught me a long time ago, if it happens, you're ready. And if it doesn't happen, guess what? You're ready. So you go into these situations, you're ready. So know how we got here. Talk to your coach about what you can do differently or better to respond to this situation, and then just practice it. Because this situation is going to come, if it actually happens, it's going to keep getting more and more relevant. And we're seeing it. We're getting calls going, I only want to pay you X. And the reason they don't want to pay because the NAR ruling. That tells me they don't really understand. So that's what we're doing. That's what I'd recommend you do.
Got it. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect. So one of the questions came in, Frank, is mindset on your schedule?
Yeah, it's on my morning drive. So I listen more than I read today. And because it gives me the opportunity, and I know some coaches, some maybe Neil, maybe Mike might tell me that I'm wrong for doing this, but I like to listen to something, and if I like it, I just listen to it again. I don't do that with the book, but I'm probably still on chapter 1 of a 12-hour book that I just keep going back and going, man, that was powerful. Because I go and listen to it again because I'm not that smart where I just automatically just goes into the memory and it's set. I got to go back and go, man, I want to hear that again. I want to word that correctly so that if it opportunity presents itself like we did today, because I didn't know we were going to do this until Robert told me, but if there's an opportunity to present something, I want to be able to share this. Not only that, but the coaching clients that I have, like I said, a big part of them not succeeding or not doing the activities that they should be doing has a lot to do with their mindset. Simply stated, they just don't believe. So yes, it's in my schedule in the mornings on my drive-in.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on here. I was sitting here taking notes as well. A lot of really great things on there. So I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know you're a busy guy and being on here to help us out, but that's just kind of the guy you are. You always like helping people out. So I always appreciate that about you, and I'm sure everyone else does as well. So everybody, do me a favor, give this man a round of applause for stepping up today talking about
Thank you.
this. Like I said, this is a big thing. It's such a major talking point for what's going on. So I can't thank him enough. And I'm sure he's going to get a text message from me immediately if this is over, saying thank you, 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 and
Thank you,
thank
Robert.
you.
Thank you,
So
guys.
I'm
Can I ask?
curious as we have go ahead, Martin.
Thank you, Frank. That was really great. When you mentioned you listened on your drive, do you obviously I don't want to be. I'm sorry, I'm not techie. I don't want to be scanning as I'm driving. So, like, do you select one, two, three videos, and then you text them to yourself, and then every morning as you're driving, how do you select them? When do you select them?
No, I have Audible. So what I do is I have Audible set up in my car so that I can listen to it in my car. So this morning, like I said, I'm on chapter 2 of the Happiness Trap is the name of the book that I'm listening to right now. So I'll just get in the car, go right to my phone, go to Audible, and click the book I want to hear. Maybe I want to hear David Goggins. Maybe I want to hear Earl Nightingale. I got tons of books in here. I like one. It's called the Book of Joy. That's what does it. Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama. It just depends. But right now, I'm really hooked into this happiness trap. I really like what this guy is doing and saying. So it's Audible is how I do it. I just click on that and I just pick the book. Like I said, right now I'm on the happiness trap.
Thank you for your service, and thank you, Frank.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's funny, Frank, because I'm the same exact way. I don't read a lot of books because when I read a book, if I have the hard copy, I highlight stuff. So Mike always says, "Oh, learn how to speed read." I'm like, no, I got the highlighter, I got the pen, I'm highlighting things. If it's Audible, I'm like pushing pause so I can make a note. Chapter 2, 8 minutes in, he talked about this. So I am certainly that guy as well in terms of, just rereading. As a matter of fact, I was doing that the other night with a Tim Ferriss book called Tools of Titans. I was just going back and rereading that. So
well, Robert,
I'm with you.
You've been to my office. I've got my small library of books that are here.
Yeah.
The ones that stand out for me, Good to Great, Thinking for a Change, Straight from the Gut, Phil Jackson, No Excuses. I'll be honest with you. I read Alcoholics Anonymous, the book, AA.
Mm-hmm.
And because there was some reference that people have made to the 12-step program in Alcoholics Anonymous. And the 12-step program, it's like I shared at the beginning, the first step in recovery is to admit that you're powerless over your addiction and you want help. Well, guess what? That was what I said at the beginning of our talk today. You have to realize you have a challenge until you're ready to admit it, like I am, that I am not always happy and not always in a positive mindset, which I kind of thought I was supposed to always be, but coming to realize I don't have to be. I don't have to be. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. The key here is do I have a positive mindset most of the time? That's the job. So I have that book in there. Dave Ramsey. I just got tons of books in there that I've read over the years, but then I shifted and got hooked onto Audible, and I like that I can go back and read those or listen to them, I should say.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, I get it. It's great stuff. So,
all right.
No, I appreciate it. A lot of good things here that you mentioned, and it's funny because I talk to you and we talk to Mike and Neil, and we come from a lot of the same different type of people, but yet I'm still taking notes here going, gosh, that's a really good point. Like,
yeah.
I didn't cause it, so why do I think I can fix it? That's a great point. It's like just taking all the stuff here. So You hit the nail on the head, buddy. I really appreciate you doing this. This was fantastic. We have it recorded. We're going to get it uploaded so that way people can watch this again, because this is just such an important thing. And I also put the link to that video in the chat box. So if you want to go back and watch that Kobe Bryant video, because that in itself is a great lesson and a lot of different things in there. So that was a great video you played. So Mr. Parra,
make the
thank you,
connection.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
And thank
We'll
you.
see you on the other side. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. There he goes. Good stuff. So